What can you really do about it? You can ask them what the president was doing. If they don't give you an answer, what can you do?
I don't think we should allow Brennan to go forward for the CIA directorship, Hagel to be confirmed to Secretary of Defense until the White House gives us an accounting. Did the president ever pick up the phone and call anyone in the Libyan government to help these folks? What did the president do? We know he talked to the Israeli Prime Minister from 8 to 9 on September the 11th about a dust-up of the Democratic platform and the fact he didn't meet the Prime Minister of Israel when he came to New York to visit the UN. But that's not related to Libya. What did he do that night? That's not unfair. The families need to know. The American people need to know.
But I'm not sure I understand. What do you plan to do if they don't give you an answer? Are you going to put a hold on these two nominations?
Yes, I'm going to ask my colleagues, just like they did with John Bolton. Joe Biden said, no confirmation without information. No confirmation without information. You know, when Secretary Clinton said she had a clear-eyed assessment of the threats in Libya, that proved after this hearing not to be true. The Department of Defense knew about the cable coming from our Libyan ambassador saying he couldn't defend the consulate. This was on August the 15th. They knew about the deteriorating security situation, but the Secretary of State didn't know any of this. So she was blind, the President was disengaged, and the Department of Defense never launched one airplane to help these folks for 7.5 hours. This is complete system failure, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it. I don't think it's unfair to ask these questions. Quite frankly, how could they say, after Panetta and Dempsey said they knew it was a terrorist attack that night, how could the president say for 2 weeks after the attack it was a result of a video? How could Susan Rice come onto your show and say there's no evidence of a terrorist attack when our Secretary of Defense and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs said they knew that night? I think that was a misleading narrative 3 weeks before our election.
Let me just make sure, because you're about to make some news here, I think. You are saying that you are going to block the nominations. You're going to block them from coming to a vote until you get an answer to this. Now, John McCain has already said he doesn't think the Republicans ought to filibuster this. What will you do? You're just going to put a hold on it.
I'm not filibustering.
What would they have to do then to bring this to a vote?
I want to know who changed the talking points. Who took the references to al-Qaeda out of the talking points given to Susan Rice? We still don't know. Richard Burr and Saxby Chambliss have found emails discussing changing the talking points. I think her story, after what we found out at this hearing, was incredibly misleading. I want to know what our president did. What did he do as commander-in-chief? Did he ever pick up the phone and call anybody? I think this is stuff that the country needs to know. We pushed back against Bush. We asked for Rumsfeld to resign when Iraq went into shambles. This is a national security failure of monumental proportions, and I'm not going to stop till we get to the bottom of it. If it hadn't been for this investigation and these hearings and your show, we would still think this was a video that caused a riot and the president was hands-on.